Welcome back to Do It Myself Garage. The GTO has become a parts holder. Working on the Buick Special here. Got the blue wall up. My heater should probably kick in here any minute. It's trying to keep it about 55 out here, which is plenty good for working out in the garage. Cost me a little less for heat. I am still working on the wiring. You can see I've got that ballast resistor back there. That one's for the coil. And I've got a new one over here. That's for the charging system. So let me show you here in a second. All right, so got the external regulator. I took this apart, took the screws off of here, took it apart. It's in really good shape, painted it all up, got rid of most of the rust. Yeah, there's some rust on the bottom here. You don't want to paint this. These are resistors that dissipate heat. You don't want to cover them at all. But sanded this so I'd have good contacts when I put it on the firewall. I'll clean off the firewall as well. The connector that goes into that. Depinned that. I did a shorts video on depinning connectors like this. Bought these brand new little guys right here that have the little security tab on them. Slide them in, they'll lock in place. So I'm rewiring this. I rewired the one that went into the alternator. So here's the alternator connector. Yeah, a little bit worn out. I'll keep him as a spare, but there's a brand new one in there right now. That's where this red and blue wire come from. So that's what I'm working on today. Aha, heater just kicked in. But anyway, I need to find out what's going on and make sure this alternator works. Otherwise, I've got to do more work pulling all that apart. But let's see if we can't get this alternator to work. In case you're wondering how I know how to work on something like this, I found this deal online. It's the blueprint wiring diagram for the Delcotron alternator. How to hook everything up. And yes, you need to have this resistance wire. Ballast resistor is there. That other ballast resistor on the firewall, that's the 1.5 ohm one for the charging or for the coil. So anyway, yes, you need to have one of these. This is in black and white. The one online is in color. I'll try to put a link to it in the description. All right, so got that all wired in. Temporary, semi-permanent, however you want to call it. I've got two wires running across through the firewall, a red and a brown. Gotta get that wired into the dash. I'm gonna put the dash in at least temporarily so I can start it up and see if the charging system works. The alternator is grounded to the block, but if you recall from before, I did some testing and the block is not grounded to the body, so that's gonna be a problem. So I'm going to go ahead now and run a ground wire from the body to the engine, and then hook up those wires onto the dash, get them wired into the ignition and to the dash part for the generator light, and we'll see if we can get this thing to charge. All right, put a little paint in this corner just to see if my sanding marks were going to go away, but I'll give you an idea. Been sanding all of that. Guess I'm going to have to do the post a little bit. Still haven't found that trim for the top yet. But got this stripped down as best I could. I'll do a little bit more before I finish up. But I got most of the steering column. And yeah, she's coming along. All right, started working on painting these pieces here. They kind of have this cream color to it. Not really a white. Matches the interior very nicely. Can't wait to get the dash and everything painted. It's going to be beautiful. Alright, so I've been working on this car really randomly. I had already checked all of these screws to make sure I could break them loose. I've been doing a lot of painting the last 24 hours. Sanding and painting. I got the interior dash pretty much done. Obviously the gauge cluster I showed in a previous video or short. Hopefully that'll all go back in the next day or two. But I wanted to check out and see just how badly this engine was abused. So I found that it is a numbers matching engine. So it belongs to the car, and the car, the odometer anyway, if I can trust that, says 73,000 miles. So hopefully, I pull this off, we don't find a neglected 73,000 mile engine. No, just those 4. Let's see what's under here. Oh, I was going to say, that shouldn't come off too hard. There we go. All right. Well, there's a little bit of sludge in there, but not bad. I don't see anything that really concerns me. It is oily inside because when I started it up, hopefully the oil got up there. I didn't have any rattling lifters or anything. I did have one that was kind of noisy at first, but everything looks good. I probably should, the next time I start it up, I'll have to inspect that and see if the rods are turning. That'll be kind of a telltale sign if everything's working proper. All right, battery cut out there, but I can zoom in a little bit here for you. But nothing overly concerning on the engine here. I bought new gaskets. I'll have to clean up these valve covers. That's probably a good project for me while I'm waiting for the other paint on the car to dry. I'll go ahead and crack these other ones loose. And yeah, my numbers matching engine. I'm pretty happy so far. 73,000 mile car. If I can get this electrical squared away, I'll be in really good shape. And then I can start tearing things off just to clean them and put them back. Do I have a plan? Yes. Get it back on the road. Am I doing everything in a... Whoa! Camera tried to go for a ride there for me. Alright, am I doing everything in the most logical order? No, definitely not. But I got the valve cover loose, but I don't know how this piece comes off of here. Okay, so it opens up on the back. That's why the screw is in there to pinch it down. Now it's just a matter of getting this tucked behind there while pulling the valve cover out while trying not to drop tons of dirt in the engine. There we go. Okay, that's off of there. Fish this. Oh, maybe if I unclipped all of the wires. Okay, come on. Let's not put tons of dirt in the motor. Okay, got it tucked behind there. Okay, oh, you hooked on there again. There we go. Come, oh, there we go. Okay, got her out of there. Woo. So yeah, as you can see here, we've got this little guy right here pinches that cable. All right, so we will clean that up. Oh, there's a baffle on there. Interesting. There wasn't a baffle on the other side. Wonder why that is. It looks a little worse on this side as far as sludge, but nothing that I would horribly concerned about. It looks like a 73,000 mile engine to me. And oh yeah, that valve cover was completely shot. She broke into chunks as she was coming out. So good thing I ordered another one of those. In fact, I might have even ordered 2 of them. I can't remember. 2 sets. Yeah, it's coming out in chunks. All right, let's get these valve covers cleaned up. update of where we're at in the video here. Going through, valve covers are off, painted them. I apologize if the color doesn't come through properly, but that's the proper green. I've got all the trim painted, got the dash pad painted, I've got the glove box painted for like the third time. Finally got it with no defects in it. So little by little we're coming along. I posted a short yesterday showing I had set the dash in here. So the dash is actually set in the car. I wanted to make sure it fit with all that stuff on the back. I got the dash painted, looking really good. The trunk is coming along. I kind of did some work back here. Yeah, I don't have my light, sorry. So I've got to clean up the bottom of this a little bit, and I'm just gonna paint that a flat black. Make sure all the holes are patched, and then I have some carpet to throw in here. Where is that carpet? What did I do with that? I put it somewhere. Oh, here. I just found some indoor-outdoor carpet to throw in there, and we'll get that in the trunk as well. So, little by little. The wiring, obviously, as I mentioned, is my goal. I want to make sure this thing charges. So that is the goal of this video, is to make sure it starts and runs and charges. But I kind of wanted to have that dash done, and I had the whole week off, so why not? All right, so got the wiring here for the front for the lights. I gotta get that figured out. Got this little switch. So this guy goes on the back of the steering column, and that's how it switches left and right. So it's a little bit different. Apparently used this from the mid-60s on a lot of GM cars. So think I got that working. I did order a new one just in case. In the meantime, I'll get the wiring squared away. Let's show you what I got going back here. So got all of this labeled. I think every wire has a label on it at this point that needs it. So I think I got it figured out. So we're getting there. Alright, if you only knew how many hours I spent trying to find a solution to this. So, a bunch of different forums and whatnot said use just a standard valve. And I actually found this one at NAPA. I'll put the part number down in the description if I can find it. Just a standard valve, and it's off here and on here. So when you pull on the lever to turn it on, it turns on. So that's the same as the one that was already on there. Pull. And then this one is spring loaded. So I'll look into maybe putting a spring on this one. I don't know. I don't think it's necessary. But anyway, I have a solution to that. And then the biggest one, the elephant in the room, heater cores for these stupid cars. You can't find one. So what I did is I cut out, I don't know if you can see here, I'll turn my light on. I cut out the corner from down there, up, around the corner, and back down. And then I put a sheet metal patch, just a little piece of tin, on here. And what that is that's the heater core for a 1975 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. I'll put the part number in the description for this one also. But other than having to put a little foam around the edges to kind of hold it, that fit. So then what I did to kind of keep the heater box from leaking, because you know you want it to have sealed so when you're running the heat that it that the heat goes where you want it to. You don't want to just waste the air. I just gooped this stuff shut. I had foam I packed in there, and it's a little ugly, but now these come out the top. Okay, so they should not be in the way of the throttle linkage, which ends up being about right here. So that was the problem. The pipes on this come out normally top and bottom in the middle. So having them on this side was a problem because, again, the stupid throttle linkage is in the way. All right, so now this comes straight out and I don't have this valve anymore. Okay, so what am I going to do? Well, again, I've got this valve. Hold on just a split second. All right, so what I did is I went and bought a couple of 90s from the hardware store, and these should work just fine to turn that so it's going the right direction. The only one I have to turn for sure is the one that goes to the valve, which I'm going to try to break this off of this mounting bracket so I can use it, or maybe I'll make my own bracket. I have to use a 90 on that one at the very least, and I might use a 90 on the bigger one just so I don't, you know, you want to avoid kinking hoses if you can. So, so much research for something so silly, but I'm getting there. I think this is going to work. Let's put this together and see if I run into any problems. Okay, so that looks pretty awesome for the return side. Obviously, I put some clamps on that. That should work. And yeah, dummy me, I didn't have the right size for the inlet because this is 3/4. Is that? Yeah, 3/4 and 5/8. So I messed up there. I'm not the best at plumbing, so I was kind of guessing here. I'm just making this up from scratch. All right, well, it's New Year's Day. I did a little bit of work the last week. I don't even remember how much I filmed. Been working on cleaning up the wiring. Got the hoses hooked up. I'm going to have to redo the wiring on that a little bit. It comes out of the firewall right there, but that angle's going to be wrong. I ordered some new cables, so I think I'm going to have to drill the hole over a little further, closer to the motor. We'll see. I'll have to build a little bracket, but that's in there nice and solid. Got the rest of the wiring kind of done up. I'll get it buttoned up completely when I know it works. So yeah, the goal. I spent a little time to get it to start. Do not appear to have any oil leaks or anything like that, but it is not charging. So we are going to do a little bit of testing on the voltage regulator to see if it's the alternator or the regulator. Might even be both. Let me get you on the tripod here and I'll show you what I'm doing. Well, that makes sense that it wasn't running if it didn't have any voltage. All right, let's see how many volts I have now. Really wish this thing would stay somewhere. There. Stay? Okay. Red lead. Okay. 12 volts. We've got, should have 12 volts here. Should have 12 volts right here. Yep. And we should have 12 volts here now. Yeah, 11.97, close enough. So our regulator wasn't getting any power. So, plug that back in. I just hot wired it for right now off of another circuit. So that wire wasn't hooked up at all. Kind of hard for the regulator to work if she's not doesn't have any power. But one wire that I missed somehow. I swear I had every other single wire labeled. At least I thought I did. Okay, so battery charged overnight. I want to show you that this thing actually starts up and charges. And then I'll get to work on some of the other stuff. I'm probably going to put that in the next video. This video is getting kind of long as it is, and it's a bit disjointed. Alright, let's start this baby up. It's charging a little hard. It was regulated it yesterday. That's probably because the battery might still be a little low. I had it on the trickle charger. Let's give it a minute. I don't want to run it too long. I got it working here. that. It says 15 there. It actually drops down a little bit once I rev it up. So anyway, that's where we're at. Yeah, I didn't want to get it that smoky in here. But it's charging. I'll have to work on that regulator a little bit. There is adjustment on there. It's possible the wires aren't all synced completely. I don't have everything plugged in. It's just temporary. So we'll get there. Number one, alternator's charging. The rest of the wiring I'll have to button up. And I gotta get the dash in, but that's for another video. Sorry, this has been kind of all over the place. Next thing you know, the valve covers are painted, and I had the heater box out and back in, and didn't hardly show anything. But I will put links for that heater core. That actually works. That's gonna work awesome because it's out of the way to the throttle linkage. And if I have a problem, I can actually replace it on the road. You know, that's something that you can actually get a part for. Whereas before, it was unobtainium. Water pump, kind of the same way. They don't make them. I found one on eBay for 60 bucks, a used one. I'm going to buy it and then buy a rebuild kit that's about 100 bucks. So I'll have a spare. But they don't make these water pumps either. So do a little more research than I did when I bought this car. Make sure the car that you're buying you can get parts for. But anyway, I'm having a lot of fun. There should be a driver by spring, no problem. Like, share, subscribe, comment, ask questions. I apologize, it's kind of all over the place. But when you're working on stuff in your garage, that's kind of how it is. My videos aren't so much how-to videos because this is do-it-myself. I'm just kind of winging it. When I'm showing something specific, yeah, I try to be more detailed, but just putting the car together the best I can. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you in the next video. Bye.